What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. I am beyond excited to be sharing this knife with y'all today. This is not my knife. This one is on loan to me from one of the channel supporters, Steve Clare. Very much appreciate you allowing me to take a look at your knife, Steve. Love this thing. I've had it for about a week now, so I'm excited to share it with y'all. Before we get too far into that I wanted to say thank you to anyone else who's already started liking and supporting the channel, for subscribing and just helping our channel grow. And you can also head over to Instagram and likes at WorkKnifeBalance939. That's a great way to communicate with us. Let us know what you want to see, what you don't want to see, what you like, don't like, all that stuff. We've been through the spiel. We've got the opening done. Let's go ahead and dive into this knife. This is why you're here. This is why I'm here. Absolutely love this thing. Before we open it fully, I just want to say this is a knife that I never thought I would have on the channel. And not because it's astronomically expensive or discontinued or anything like that, just because this knife is not from the USA. It's from Poland, and it's from a Polish custom maker, Bartosz Herman. And I know I said that first name wrong, so I apologize, but this is a Herman knife, and I am I've seen Herman knives. I've never held one. I've never been able to actually carry one, and Steve allowed me to be able to carry this for this past week. I was able to hold it, play with it, mess around with it, and I absolutely love this thing. This thing, some things just hit different, and this is in that category. It just hits different. This is so nice, and yeah, let's go ahead and do some man, it just feels good. Let's go ahead and do some measurements. We'll do some side-by-side comparisons, and then we'll dive into the knife a little bit more, and you'll see why I love it so much. All right, tip to tail, we're looking at 9 inches almost exact, and blade length, we're looking at about 4 inches, with cutting edge at right about 4 inches as well. So this is a big knife for sure. This is not your everyday compact carry by any means. This is a big knife. We'll go ahead and pull out another big knife for side-by-side comparison here. You've got the Ontario Rat 1, which is classified as a big knife, and the Herman is bigger. It's a little bit longer on the handle. It's a little bit longer on the tip there. We'll go ahead and do another big knife, and that is going to be the Para 2 right there. So you've got the handle length, which is going to be a little bit larger on the Para 2, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit shorter. The blade is definitely shorter on the Para 2. So we'll go ahead and put those to the side real quick, and let's get some smaller, more like everyday compact EDC knives that you're going to carry out. We've got the Lander 2, we've got the Kaiser Veritas there. I'm just grabbing knives that I've got on the table. Some of these knives just sit here on this desk. They're just kind of everyday knives that I use all the time. And then let's see, we'll go ahead and do the Devo Pony Stout for a small knife to kind of give you a side-by-side comparison there. And last but not least, we'll do the Miguron Mayoral. So you can kind of see a bunch of different knives. You can see side-by-side comparisons to all of them. See what we're looking at for those size comparisons there. This is definitely a big knife. There's no way getting around that. But I will say, as someone who does not like to carry big knives, I love carrying this thing. I absolutely love carrying this thing. This is a just beautiful, beautiful knife with a lot of great detail, a lot of attention to function, fit, form. The ergos on this are fantastic. The action on this is beautiful. There's not much I would expect different in this knife. And this is only one Herman. This is the Herman Dragonfly. And so there are many other versions, many other variations out there, many other Herman knives. And so I'd be really excited to see what other Hermans look like and how they compare to this, because this is one of the more attainable Hermans. This isn't a $3,000 knife. I believe on Polish Customs this goes for around $700 or so, and that may be off. So, and that may be in Polish money. That may not be in US dollars. I'm not too sure how to figure out the internet. That's technology, and that's not my strong suit. So, what I can say is this thing is probably well worth every penny that Steve paid for it, because there are some really, really nice things that just add to the detail in this. We're gonna start right off the bat with one of my favorite pieces on this knife, and that is the spine of the knife. The milling that they added to the spine of this knife to have those little ridges that come up like that, the arrow pointing forward, as it comes down, you can see the swedge on the tip of the blade as it comes forward, and the milling lines up perfectly with that swedge to point down. It's a beautiful little detail piece that I think probably gets overlooked and is absolutely fantastic, and just it's pretty amazing the way it was done. The backspacer right here, I believe, is just a anodized titanium. It may be some sort of Damascus as well. I'm not too sure, but it adds a little bit of color to the knife right there, and I really like that. And then the milling that is done on the scales, the show side right here, as you can see it, has the three little, they're almost like detent balls, to be honest. It has the three little detent balls kind of sticking out at the end there, and I really like the way they feel. They're small, they're not out of the ordinary, or they're nothing that's going to be protruding or creating a hot spot. But the way the milling is wider, narrower, and then wider at the end, how it comes in and then widens out, it creates this really cool kind of effect to see almost an arch coming from it. And I really appreciate that. I really like the way that turned out and looked really well. You've got the same milling on the backside as well as on the clip right there, and then you've got two of the balls on the backside versus the three on the front side. That's a lot of the detail that goes into this knife. There's really no jimping unless you want to classify this as jimping right here. But the fit of the knife, the ergos on this knife are ridiculous. They feel so fantastic. You have almost this solid flat back here as the point starts to come down and create a really nice drop point with a big belly coming over right here. It feels really good. There's just ever so slightly the angle that curves right into your hand here and fits really well in palm with a lot of purchase area for big hands, large hands. I wear a large size glove. I have an average hand, and I have plenty of space in there to fit my hand in, and plenty of space on the end as well for bigger hands to fit in here. You have a really good front and reverse grip carry on that. The nice thing about that little angle on the backside is in reverse carry, it fits right in with the curvature of your hand of how it would naturally feel. So being able to rip through some cardboard or whatever you're gonna do there is gonna feel really nice as you hold that in place. And then the front side, same thing. You can fit really, really, really nicely, kind of just cradle that angle in there and have a really good grip on the hand side with your thumb being able to get a good purchase on the back part of the spine blade right there. So absolutely love this thing. I still can't believe that I was able to kind of take this out, and Steve, just his generosity in allowing me to borrow this for a week or so and carry it and see what it's like and fully experience what it is to have this knife. This knife is something that would definitely sell me on big knives. I am not a big knife person. I have big knives, but I don't carry big knives often because I prefer to have a smaller, lighter knife. This one's a little bit heavier. I think it's about 5.5 ounces, but the size is nothing that deters me from this knife. I absolutely love the fit and feel, and I would carry this thing regularly if it was mine because it is a fantastic knife. It's a titanium inset liner lock knife, and then the blade is actually a Bowler powder stainless M398. 398, so that's 8 better than 390. I really don't know if that's what it means, but it's M398 for the blade, and then the HRC on these came out to 61, so it's a 61 HRC, which is a really sweet spot for that powder steel there. So absolutely fantastic, really loving this knife. I don't know if these are available. I will go ahead and link to a couple of the websites where I found some of the Dragonflies out there. There are Dragonflies with M390 and there's Dragonflies with M398. So I will link any of them that I found, especially if they're available, so you could pick one up for yourself. I may hide a link or two so I can pick one up for myself and not show it for everyone else, because this thing is ridiculous. I would love to have one of these in my collection. As I said, they do come out to be around $700, so they're not an easy purchase. This is not something you just go pick up for fun, but it is an absolute beautiful knife worth every penny that they're asking for these knives. And yeah, not much else to say on this. Until next time, TTFN.